5 proven steps to make decisions faster and with confidence. The first being clarifying goals and priorities. You want to define what is important to you because that will dictate what kind of decisions you want to make. So the core values or your goals. So for me, it's excellence, making the most out of my life, and family. And what that does is it creates a great filter for me. It allows me to understand okay, going out on a Wednesday night to go play bingo does not align at all with my core values or goals, so it's an easy no. Same thing as, I want to make the most out of my life. So working a 9-to-5 job for me does not being defined as making the most out of life. In my definition, it's totally okay if you want to work a 9-to-5 job. It's just not what I want to do. But maybe what's most important is working a 9-to-5 job and focusing on family and focus, be really involved in your kids' sports and stuff like that. And that is just as beautiful as what my mission is. But it's important that you define it because the best decision for me would not be the best decision for you. So you define what's important because what that allows you to do is prioritize and filter, because then you can always understand which option aligns with my goals. So for me, with master school or coaching, so I had the choice to go to master school to be a therapist or go and enter the coaching world. And I chose to go into the coaching world. And with that decision, I had to choose, okay, where do I want to be in 10 years? And that's a great question you can ask yourself. Where do you want to be in 10 years? For me, where do I want to be in 10 years? Well, in 10 years, I would like to have a company of my own with a team that is accomplishing a certain mission, not sure what yet, but I'm going to need to develop a business acumen in marketing, sales, product, HR, legal, customer success. All those things are going to be so crucial for me to understand if I want to have my own company. So with that being said, going to master school for 3 years is not going to give me that business acumen where I want to be in 10 years. Whereas entering the coaching space, whereas I might make less money in the next 4 years compared to go to master school, I guarantee in the next 10 years, I'll be able to reach my goal of wanting to run that company and be able to make that global impact like I want to do. So what's that done? It allows me to prioritize and filter. It's the same thing for you. Let's say, like I used the example earlier, you want to be able to be at all your kids' soccer games and you coach them, which is awesome, it's beautiful, and you want to enjoy nature maybe. With those things, you're able to prioritize and filter. You wouldn't want to go in the same mission I am because what I'm doing is going to take so much time and so much saying no to those other things because everything has a cost to it. So it allows you to say no to what does not align by clarifying your goals and priorities, which makes it easier to be a better decision. The second thing you could do is limit options to avoid overthinking. The easiest way to do this is to create a decision deadline. So create a time frame to decide on what you want to do. So for me, with master school and coaching, what I've done is I've created an XYZ statement, which says, I will do the contents of the course for 1 year expecting 20 clients. So that's my XYZ statement. So I will do X for Y time period expecting Z result. And it allows me to not even think about the coach or until therapy until a year from now, because it's not completely off the table, but as of now, I'm not going to go to master school. And so I've created that XYZ statement to allow me to have a time frame to decide and commit to the things that I want to work on right now, which is developing my business acumen, which forces action for me to do that. Another little hack you can do to limit options and avoid overthinking is the 10-10-10 rule. And the way the 10-10-10 rule is how will you feel with this decision in 10 minutes? How will you feel this decision in 10 months? How will you feel with this decision in 10 years? It allows you to look at the difference between short term and long term. Well, in short term, if I were to go to master school in the next 10 minutes, I would feel pretty good because I know that in 4 years, I'll be guaranteed to make like $250,000 a year, assuming that I can build my practice and be a good therapist, all those good things. But I would have the licensure to do that in an easier pathway. As well as in 10 months, I'd probably feel pretty good because I'd be in the program. But in 10 years, I don't think I'd feel very good because that's not what I want to do for that long. I don't want to be trading my time for money forever because I do want to enjoy my family. I do want to make the most out of my life. So in 10 years, that does not align with that decision. Another great thing you can use is the 1,000-mile rule. I love this one because it allows you to take yourself out of your current state of where you're at in your current situation to put yourself in a different mode of thinking. So what I mean by this is if I were to move 1,000 miles away, what decision would I make then? And what this does for you is it removes you from all the opinions of those around you. As well as, if you want to get really crazy, if you were to move 1,000 miles away and be remote, what would you do? Because then that removes you from the factor of society. So not only does it remove you from the factors, all the opinions around you and maybe the emotions you're feeling right now, but also it removes you from the factors of society. If you think about what would I do if I was remote 1,000 miles away. I really love this hacks, and it helps me limit my options so I don't overthink and avoid that, because that used to be a huge problem for me. The third thing you can do to help make decisions faster and with confidence is use a structured decision-making framework. I have 3 of them that I like to use. I like to use a pros and cons list. This was something I used a long time ago when I was deciding who I wanted to live with post-college, because there's a lot of pros and cons based upon who I wanted to surround myself with, what my success journey I wanted it to look like, stuff like that. So using a pros and cons list and actually writing them out and looking at them side by side can really help you understand, like, okay, this decision actually has a lot more cons than I thought I did. Maybe I don't want to go with this one. Another one I like to use is the 5 whys. So for me, I also had a big problem over the last year and a half of being so married to making $1 million a year. And I still want to make that money, but it's not as big of a focus, because what I did is I used the 5 whys. Why do I want to make that money? Well, and I just wrote it out. I started writing it out. I got really deep with myself, and I was like, I don't really care about the money that much. What I do care about, what is really important to me, is helping people go from victim to victor so they can live a life on their terms. Because I used to feel like a victim in my life. And it wasn't until I started taking action, owning my decisions, owning my beliefs, until I started to feel like a victor within my life. That's my true mission. That's what I want to do. That's the global impact that I want to make. And so with that being said, the 5 whys helped me identify that, and it showed me that I didn't really care about the money. I cared about the impact that I want to make. One final decision-making framework you can use, it's a really quick one, is just long-term versus short-term. Okay, does this decision serve me in the short term, or does this decision serve me in the long term? And it's a really easy filter for you to understand, because you'll get a really quick answer of like, this is a short-term decision. Or this is a long-term decision that the work sucks now, but it aligns with my long-term goals. The thing you can do is start to trust your intuition and experience. You want to build that skill so you can make decisions with second nature. The way you do this is you reflect. You ask yourself, what are some common factors in your past bad decisions and your past good decisions? In your past bad decisions, were you low on sleep? Were you drinking? Were you making them quick? Whatever that looked like. In your good decisions, were you talking to your mentors? Were you taking the time to write them out and look at that? Were you sober? And all those things you can reflect on and just develop the common factors. And once you develop those common factors, you just try to create that environmental situation every single time you want to make an important decision, and then you'll make the best decision possible just based on your common factors that you've noticed about yourself that allows you to make good or bad decisions. Another thing with trusting intuition and experience is practice deciding. Train the actual skill of decision-making and intuition by on small decisions. And the way I like to do this is I play chess almost daily. And it's something that's so insignificant, but it helps me make a decision because there's so many options on the board that I could choose to do, but I'm going to choose that one, commit to that one, commit to that attack on the board. And it's something silly, but it helps my decision-making skill. Another thing I like to do is what I eat. Sometimes when I get in a late night snack, I'll go stand out there and just stare at the cupboard forever. But instead, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to choose and I'm just eat that. I'm going to stop wasting fucking time. And so that helps me as well. Assuming, unless you want to get really healthy and really fit, then choosing what you eat, you should spend more time on. But if you have a good grasp on that and you feel really good about your health, then you can kind of use that as a way also to make decisions like, yep, I'm going to eat that, and not really consider the nutritional contents. Obviously, this is a completely separate thing. Another thing you could do is your route home. Sometimes taking certain route homes will be faster, but instead of trying to decide in your mind, just fucking choose. If it's the difference between 5 minutes, who cares? Don't even think about it. Just choose, and you can practice developing your intuition and your experience. The fifth and final thing you could do is commit and move forward with confidence. Once you've gone through these first 4 steps, you've developed your goals and your values, you've limited your options, you've used structured frames, you've worked on intuition and experience, it's time to just start committing and owning your decisions. You want to reduce your second guessing. The way you can do this is just commit fully. You make a decision, you're like, yep, I'm going to commit. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not going to think about the decision I could have made because in the past, there's nothing I can do about it now. Avoid revisiting it unless there's a significant reason. As they say, burn the boats. That's the best way to get people to act. You know, there's a story, I don't remember who it was, I think it was a Spanish conquistador who in the past, they would, go to the country they wanted to conquer and they would burn all the boats. The soldiers were forced to fight, or if they didn't, they would die. And so that is the way you can do this in your mind, is burn that second decision, just commit fully. And that's what I had to do with coaching in master's school. I was teetering so much on the line of, oh, do I want to go to master's school? Do I want to go to coaching? And it sucked so much energy, it sucked so much time, it took my belief away from myself. And so what I had to do is I had to metaphorically burn the boats in my mind of master school. And that's why I created that XYZ statement that I referenced earlier, because that is burn the boats until that date. And I may again just push that out further until eventually I just cut it completely and I don't even think about it anymore. And the cool thing is even if you make the wrong decision, a good frame you can carry with yourself is, number one, you're going to create a better story for yourself. Even if, you know what, let's say this coaching shit doesn't work out for me. Maybe I made all these YouTube videos, maybe I sent all those emails for nothing. But the cool thing is it creates a better story, because now I could say for 2 years now, I've been creating YouTube videos and I've been working on my outreach for my coaching. And that's just a better story for me later that I can tell my kids, that I can reflect upon. And it's cool shit to me, I guess. And then also, don't take yourself too serious. I've made mistakes in the past. I'm like, why am I even thinking about this? Why am I even taking myself seriously on this? Because it does not matter. And realistically, you can ask yourself the question, will it matter in 5 years? If you make a mistake, it's probably not going to matter in 5 years. And that's the cool thing about it. That's how to become more decisive, 5 proven steps to make decisions faster and with confidence. If it was helpful, please leave a comment and I'll make more.